The Indian Space Research Organization is certainly a darling of India. And one of the people who has made ISRO a household name is Dr. M. Annadurai, the current director of the ISRO Satellite Center, the man who gave India the first mission to the moon, Chandrayaan 1, and also participated in the Mangalyaan mission, and now also heavily involved with the Chandrayaan 2 mission, where India's flag will go to the moon. But if things pan out the way it is, Dr. Annadurai may not see the fructification of the Chandrayaan 2 mission. A man who has had humble beginnings from a small town and then taking India all the way to Mars. Dr. Annadurai, tell me a little bit about your childhood and your school and college.
Yeah, my childhood is predominantly in the village called Kodavadi in Coimbatore district, and my schooling happened there, primary schooling point of view, and that village, as it was standing, many villages of that kind, until my age of 10th, as I told many places, was not having even a street light, and the school building also very, very, very modest. Notwithstanding that, I think I got an ample opportunity to play around with my other friends and have ample time to look the beauties of the villages. And naturally, we have grown. So then, coming to high school, I think we had to walk up 5 kilometer up, 5 kilometer down daily for the higher elementary.
For
walk up and down.
Easy.
Not easy, not,
Yeah,
correct.
I can understand that you may get emotional because you are
Yeah,
on the
correct.
verge of giving up your important position.
Yeah. So that's how it happened there. Then gradually, I think we moved out, and then my college is concerned, Government College of Engineering College in Coimbatore, that I did my BE. Then post graduation, I did PSG College of Technology in Coimbatore. That way, full I made up in my education point of view. In and around Coimbatore, my education has gone through. Subsequently, I've done the PhD also from Coimbatore only. So that's why education point of view, I full I made in Coimbatore. So, but then overall employment point of view, ISRO from 1982 I joined. Now 36th year running here. So to start with, it's a very, very modest beginning. In Peenya Sheds, our initial work started. Then gradually, along with the ISRO Satellite Center, my growth also took place in terms of a team leader for make a software satellite simulator.
Let me stop you there. Is it correct that till your post-graduation you had not stepped out of Coimbatore?
Yeah, in a way, basically we didn't have an opportunity to go around, but maybe the interviews would have come out. But as far as my schooling and other education point of view, I full everything happened in and around Coimbatore.
So from a position where you were largely a small town boy, and then you took India to the moon, and then subsequently to Mars, how difficult a journey has it been?
Okay, the whole all along the journey was, I can tell you, it's more enjoyable, because you look at the village background, from a city-grown boy, because every activity he may feel it is a bit difficult. But in the village background is basically, as I told, even though we don't have a street light, we don't have a car roads, we don't have a good facilities in the schools and thing, but still we are accustomed to that way. Okay, that way we've grown. That way, even while keep coming up, and gradually we used to get amenities, things like coming to college is slightly better, coming to ISRO is slightly better. So that way, when the growth is concerned, I think all along we enjoyed that growth. But looking back, of course, now if you go back, whether those states from the school to the even starting ISRO would have been difficult day to day. But to be frank, when we grow, growth has happened, I think everything was smooth. When, for example, today's computers, what we have in ISRO, versus the computers of those days, totally different. Okay, punching cards you have to make use of thing. But today in the palm computer is much more powerful than what the computers we had those days. So okay, but still, I think we had a good, we made use of the whatever available to us, and we have grown. So that way, I can tell you, when the growth point of view, looking back, I think it's a really a present journey. Though here and there, it's I can't tell it's difficult. Challenging times we met, and then I think we have come all the way here.
A lot of people say that you became literally from a zero to a hero thanks to India's maiden mission to moon Chandrayaan 1 in 2008. Tell us a little bit about that journey of Chandrayaan 1, because till date it remains the only really international mission which India has undertaken.
Yeah, it's really, that is a word I think I used to check with my close nice friend, our Pulla Bagla. I used to tell him that is, Chandrayaan made me from zero to hero. I think that one letter Z to H, making a difference, is the Chandrayaan 1 has done there. And to start with, that mission is configured was only extending a remote sensing mission all the way to the moon. It was very modest beginning, using our own Indian equipments, like that was planned. But gradually, when we are configuring the mission, we had the possibility of giving an announcement opportunity with the modest of 10 kg of mass and real estate point of view, to give announcement opportunity to outsiders, other than ISRO laboratory, somebody can come like that. It's open to Indian Academy also. But fortunately or unfortunately, almost all the offers came from outside India. Nearly 26 offers came, and that gave us an opportunity to look over the systems much better way, and we pruned down and get 6 instruments coming from outside India. 2 came from US, a couple of them from Europe, and 1 Japanese-Swedish combination, 1 from Bulgaria. So that 6 suit combination gave us a good opportunity, overall system engineering and realizing along with international partners. That gave a totally different way of configuring the satellite. So when we made the satellite, and the satellite reached the moon in the first attempt, and made our with a tricolor flag pointed on the moon impact probe, and impacted on the moon, and it was really a jubilant thing, and media took it in a very positive way, and the Indian community also took it a very their own way it's taken there, and that made me overnight, I can tell you overnight, from zero to hero.
One of your role models has been Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, who became president, and he was there when the Chandrayaan was taken into orbit, etc. It was his dream that we put a moon impact probe and assert that we have landed on the moon. Do you think looking back, you fulfilled Dr. Kalam's dream?
I think so, because not only me telling, but even Kalam himself has acknowledged his turning points in the book. One of the turning points when you're talking about this is how in Udaipur conference, when I projected our project report of the Chandrayaan 1S stood that day. That was just to go around the moon for 100 kilometer polar orbit. But then he came with an idea, why you are going all the way nearly 386,000 kilometer traveling and falling short of moon by 100 kilometer, why can't you touch the moon? This is the thing he asked for. But it's technically very challenging, because already we have 11 instruments we have accommodated here. With that instruments, PSLV's almost capability is met. So now you want to land on the moon, means you have to additional weight has to be carried, fuel has to be carried. So it calls for a totally different relook of the whole mission. So, but then we have gone through that, and we have re-engineered the whole system. Accordingly, we should come out to redesign the whole craft point of view. Accordingly, his idea of one of the module, out of the so many instruments, one of the instrument like moon impact probe, will come out of the mother craft and go and hit on the moon in a designated place. And that day, November 14th of 2008, and when that really happened, Kalam himself was there, and he was very much excited and happy, and acknowledged, yes, this we thought about it, Now we people have done it. That definitely acknowledged. And not only that, in his, subsequently in his own book, turning points in his life, he listed a couple of them. And one of the item, whatever he referred is this particular moon impact probe, originally envisaged ISRO project versus his idea translating into a impact probe and making our Indian tricolor presence, and the first mission itself would happen there. I think definitely Kalam's contribution, Kalam, whatever asked for, I think we are given. I think more than he is satisfied in this particular mission.
One of the big achievements of Chandrayaan 1 was the finding of hydroxyl ions, or what in colloquial terms sometimes is referred as finding water molecules on moon. And that was a first time effort in the world, acknowledged by a publication in the Science magazine. How exhilarating was it that it was left to Chandrayaan 1 to find water molecules on the moon and not to the Apollo missions where scientists kicked around on the moon?
Yeah, to be frank, when I took over the mission itself, to get convinced myself, is it really when the nearly 16 missions have gone to the moon, why we have to go now? And we also will be also a run case. What exactly we will be looking for that, when we are looking for that? And the one of the gaps what we have seen, personally whatever I have seen is, yes, they had the moon landings, and they have brought even the samples from the moon and analyzed. But the thing is, where they landed versus where they have not landed. You look at the ratio of the moon surface point of view, here is a fairly large amount of area, not explored areas there. So our mission is destined to explore the whole of the moon, along with the latest science instruments, various spectrums from X-ray, hard energy, low energy X-ray, and wide spectrum of IR and light wavelengths. So that, considering that, and definitely we thought we have good amount of area we can explore. In that gaps, there exists, if there exists a possibility, we will be able to tell what is there or not. Basically, the idea is we will be able to unambiguously tell if water is there, yes. What is not there, yes. But for that to answer, definitely we have to go for the whole moon to be explored. So that way, our Chandrayaan 1 mission, as on that day, was the one which number of instruments carrying and planned to go for the polar orbit 100 kilometer was destined. So our fingers crossed, but definitely we are looking for an unambiguous answer, presence of water molecules on the surface of moon. And yes, luckily I think we are able to get that jackpot rightly, right time. That way the credit goes to Chandrayaan 1.
A lot of people say the moon impact probe actually first found the signature of moon. What really went wrong, or what was the issue by which moon impact probe was not able to get the credit as against the M-cubed payload from America?
Yeah, if you recall, the moon impact probe carried the 3 instruments. One of them is one mass spectrometer. That when the moon impact probe is falling from 100 kilometer altitude and falling through the moon lunar surface, it's supposed to pass through the tenuous atmosphere of the moon. So this mass spectrometer able to identify the mass numbers of the what is there in the atmosphere. And that time, definitely we have seen the peaks coming for the H2O. And that peaks keep increasing as the altitude keep falling, indicating the presence of water molecules in the tenuous atmosphere, and that too, that intensities keep increasing as we go through the surface, indicating they would have come from the surface of the moon. Yes, these indications were seen, but unfortunately, one thing is, when the real publications was made by our own scientists, possibility is the prior calibrations of the instruments were not able to substantiate it. That is one thing. Second thing is, this is one-time, one shot. Basically, when you're going for the surface is concerned, the questions raised is we are going for the one type of measurement, one-shot measurement we are doing. The repeat measurement chances were not there. These were not there. But notwithstanding that, this is the clue, because in the science, within the Chandrayaan science forum, when a discussion was going on, when this is seen there, definitely within the scientists, a good amount of excitement was there. And taking this clue, For example, moon mineralogy mapper, it's supposed to see what is the mineral content of the mineral contents in the moon surface concern. So having seen this, water also a mineral. Okay, then why can't we look that signature also better way was thought about, and accordingly a campaign mode the instruments were looking, and places were repeatedly seen also. So that way I think repeated measurements we are able to do with the other instruments point of view, whereas other one instrument, even though publications were put forward, the questions are repeated, measurements were not there. And another thing is, and the instrument was sitting before coming to here, we would have done on calibration. So whether it's
degas these.
Yeah. Then probably would have substantiated this. But notwithstanding that, the first clue came from the mass spectrometer of the moon impact probe. But subsequently, we are able to, so using other instruments, we are able to conclusively tell yes, water molecules on the moon surface.
It's not treachery or dishonesty or breach of trust by the American scientist. It was merely a lack of calibration of the instruments and a single effort against multiple efforts, which kind of didn't give us the credit. Is that the reason? Or was there some kind of treachery behind this?
No, if you look at in objective mode, if you look at here, yes, if we could have done the required degassing and required calibration of the mass spectrometer before really going through that, probably would have substantiated that, even though it was one measurement. But unfortunately, the measurement being one, and it was not, the instrument was not undergone the required degassing and the calibration, en route calibration. I think that was one of the shortcomings of our substantiating. But notwithstanding that, this is a combined effort. I think we should feel that it's a combined effort for the whole of Chandrayaan-1 science team to look for the water and answer it. And this is a combined Chandrayaan-1 team's effort.
You always likened your missions to babies. Chandrayaan-1, the baby grew up a little bit, but then kind of in very young stages faltered. Tell us a little bit why Chandrayaan-1 did not live its full life.
Yeah, you recall what has happened is Chandrayaan-1, what we have done in originally versus finally when full configuration took place. The one component called DC-DC converter, the power modules meant for each one of the instruments, are the import component for the light weighting point of view, and that's what we have gone through in while doing system engineering to optimize the mass point of view. So while doing that, it so happened the particular batch of the DC-DC converters, that power modules, which accommodated in Chandrayaan-1, had some faulty manufacturing system process happened there, and that is seen after satellite reaching the orbit. We have seen one by one it's keep failing. So though we have redundancy system sitting in the Chandrayaan-1, but repeated failing of this similar modules to the extent of nearly 6 modules got failed. So when the 6th module failed, I think we lost it, and even the redundant systems also got into problem. So that created a situation we could not communicate to the satellite. You cannot communicate command the satellite it came. So that once that comes, there is no way to make the system alive. That's what happened 9 months into the mission is concerned. So it's basically one of the particular component used in multiple places, had its own process non-compliance type of thing, an import component that has created an issue. And that lesson, whatever we learned, I think you look at Chandrayaan-1 2, or when we did Mangalyaan or Mars orbiter mission, almost orbiter remains same. But except this particular module alone has been corrected by our indigenous, fully tested, fully verified system. So the mission went through that. And the mission, though originally it's planned for 6 months for Mars orbiter mission, it is even now it is going through that, completing more than 3 years.
See, that's fascinating. Let's leave Chandrayaan-1 aside, and let's talk a little bit of the Mars orbiter mission or Mangalyaan. And then we will also talk about a little bit about Chandrayaan 2, which is an ongoing mission. In the Mars orbiter mission of Mangalyaan, how difficult was it to meet the target of making the spacecraft in less than 18 months? Because you had a very specific date by which you had to launch it.
Yeah, that is another real journey and experience, and really challenging experience, because we have to make the hardwares ready and the mission plans ready, all the systems ready for launch in a particular month. So that is very challenging thing. But towards that, luckily, as I told, lessons learned from Chandrayaan 1 helped in a big way. Whatever we have seen, the problems have been addressed, and with that we are trying to make a hardware meant for Chandrayaan 2. Originally Chandrayaan 2, we are supposed to have an orbiter like Chandrayaan 1, and lander and rover supposed to come from a Russian thing. So towards this already we are hardwares were almost we are making ready, design was reconfigured, everything ready. By this time, when we are looking for this opportunity came, we should make the mission within 18 months. We regrouped the whole systems together, and we went ahead and realized the hardware. But while doing it here, we know the mission plan, that is required autonomy, what is called for the Mars orbiter mission is nearly an order more than what is required for the Chandrayaan mission. Whereas Chandrayaan mission, from here to communicate the thing, within a second you can communicate for the orbiter mission around the moon. But an orbiter around the Mars, it will take nearly one-way communication itself will take nearly 10 minutes. That's reasons. So that it calls for a full autonomy is called for the mission. So towards that, we took a very calculated risk. And that means we made the software such that software should have the provision of to write down the autonomy rules. Okay. Once that sort of software architecture is available, then the satellite was launched. But as en route, what is minimum required during the initial launch phase has been arrived at, tested. But what all we have done is we have made another module here, and that other autonomies were more and more slowly were fed in and augmented while this mission is making 9 months of travel towards the Mars. So that way we made use of the initial 18 months to make the hardware and the minimum required software, and then en route to the Mars, we have taken a challenging thing wherein keep augmenting the softwares as in going there. So that way it's looking like our lessons learned of Chandrayaan 1 help. Then our calculated risk of, yes, totally different way of bringing in autonomy in a phased manner helped us another way. So these two put together, it's a unique way of realizing the mission. We have done it.
Within the Mars orbiter mission, one of the big achievements was to send back full disks and lovely images of Mars. Beyond that, I haven't seen good signs coming out of Mangalyaan. Was it more geopolitical than science?
No, it is. You look at here, even what we are looking for the Mars, whole disk mask also, that is also another unique science you can look at there. So this gives an opportunity like how weather forecast what we do here. Like that we are able to see the seasons properly. You look at here, we have a couple of seasons already we have seen. So we can see some sort of cloud formations, some sort of dust coming there. So these are all the things when we are taking the pictures we are taking, though we are talking about that, but this is the first time we are able to see the season variations of the Mars, we are able to see that. And the dust formation also you are able to see. Then we are coming to the closer, when the highly elliptical orbit, when it comes to the near 200 kilometer orbit, we are able to see the finer pictures. But taking the full view, full disk of Mars, I think has given ample opportunity for the scientist how the season is getting evolved. I think that is one of the good thing what happened as far as MAM is concerned.
In Mangalyaan, the nominal life was 6 months. It has out-survived by many times. What is the reason for that?
No, these reasons are two. One is taking what took you from the Chandrayaan-1 lessons learned, we corrected it here, and good number autonomy built in here. And then en route, we kept some amount of fuel meant for the, in case of unforeseen contingencies, to make use of this. Luckily, and we didn't get any of such things. So we have good amount of fuel was saved when we reached the Mars is concerned. So then, with autonomy is whatever we built in, and the engine is ideas as concerned. Those things helped the so-called whiteout blackout regions. That means nearly 15-20 days time period. Orbiter will not have the communication contact with the Earth. Not possible. The way in which Mars, Earth, and Sun geometry will pose a difficulty for the normal communication to the Mars orbiter is concerned for the couple of weeks together. So during those periods, maintaining the satellites is tough. But our experience, as I told, autonomy features being built in more and more there, that helped us to satellite to survive for weeks together without a ground contact. Okay, that is the one. Originally, we thought after launch, within 6 months, we will have the big whiteout will come. And during the workout, no command going from the satellite for the weeks together may create a problem. So we may not able to make the satellite survey. That's what originally we thought. But our experience while en route to the moon 9 months, we are able to improve upon the autonomy, gave us a confidence. Yes, we can do much better even there also. So that way, we are able to make use of the autonomy features, and sometimes we are able to correct the orbit also. Such that longer this sort of outages will not come. So with the combination of optimum fuel usage, correcting the orbit so that outages are not many. And another thing is bringing in a full-fledged autonomy so that satellite can survey for longer outages. So we are able to do that. So that way, a couple of outages we have gone through that, and 1 or 2 orbit corrections also we have done. Putting together, I think we are able to make the satellite live much longer than what originally envisaged.
One highlight of Mangalyaan is that it finally found place on the 2000 rupee note, the new 2000 rupee note. Very rarely do you see a mission finding place on a currency note and ISRO going into everybody's pockets. Was that a satisfying moment for you?
Yeah, really satisfying and happy moment, because this I recalled our founder director of ISRO Satellite Center, Professor R. Rao, because I jovially told him, sir, your first satellite, he was the president director for the Aryabhat, that found a 2 rupee note place in a 2 rupee note. Yes. Now we have found a place in 2000 rupee note. Though we have not grown by 1000 times, but definitely our growth is much bigger, because that time very minimal denomination, the highest denomination. So that way I think it shows along with the Indian common man, ISRO's growth also is seen. 2 rupee to 2000 is a very big growth.
Certainly. And also with Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who has a special love for space. He was there when Mangalyaan went into the Mars orbit. And then subsequently, I know for sure that it was he who chose the placement of the Mangalyaan on the 2000 rupee note. How has been your experience with the Prime Minister and his love for space?
It's really thrilling moment, because now you know, though today we know the hindsight, we are the first country to succeed in a first attempt around Mars. That day is concerned, fingers crossed, because US with all its expertise, they need 5 attempts to make their first success to get. And Russia had a 9th attempt only they could succeed. And other countries, for example, China could not even make it. Their attempts failed. So in Japan also a similar thing was there. In this context, our mission was very modest, but still we have to go ahead. And just a few days away was Maven entering into the Mars. So in this context, really it was very anxiety. And in spite of that, fingers crossed, Prime Minister of the country was standing behind us. Was really a thrilling moment, and that gave us enough encouragement. The moment we have seen the success, his face was so brightened, and he was clapping like any other Indian. So that means the whole India was clapping to us. I think whole India was clapping. That's the feeling every ISRO scientist felt that day. I think nothing more than that we can expect there. Though subsequently came in 2000 rupee note, every Indian got. But that day when Prime Minister of India clapped for that success, it echoed the whole of India's sentiment. Yes, we have done it, and I think nothing can replace that particular moment of joy.
So, a small town boy from a village in Coimbatore taking India all the way to Mars and finding that the mission where you were the program director, finding place on 2000 rupee note. This is a very rare and exhilarating journey. Do you ever feel emotional about this?
Yeah, I see some sort of both attached and excited. I think it's a mixed feeling. One is, yes, if you're looking back, the growth as you deliver, growth was coming. And then opportunities were given, challenging opportunity. You convert the challenging opportunity into success, next opportunity comes. This is how from my first standard to all the way to we are talking about 600 million kilometer journey of the Mars. I think it's really, really exciting. Similarly, from 2 rupee note to 2000 rupee note. These all the things is symbolically indicating India, there is a place. Once you deliver, you will get an opportunity. You make use of opportunity, definitely you will get recognized. This is a cycle. This is a spiral will keep going. I feel Annaduri is one of the symbolic. I'm happy to show myself and happy to see I am being seen by the people as symbolically, even whichever, it doesn't mean which beginning you start, modest beginning you start. You are able to, ready to take the opportunities. Definitely this is a place you will get due recognition, you will get due rewards, and you will get the next opportunity to do better. I think this cycle is unparalleled. My life, I felt it like that. I think that is open to any of the Indian youngsters to take it and to go further and further.
And work very hard, because I remember Chandrayaan 1, daytime you were working with the Indian scientist, nighttime you were working with the Western scientist, hardly any sleep. I distinctly remember those days of yours, Annadurai. You were not a doctor then, you were still Annadurai, and you had not become the darling of India. So, how difficult was it to?
Yeah, it's really, I think I told you, it's a really unique and challenging opportunity, because we have the working partners for Chandrayaan 1. One instrument come from JAXA. Then we have various laboratories within India. We have one in Bulgaria. We have one from Germany. Then we have from Sweden. One from east coast of US. Another west coast of US. Just to look at here, across the geographical boundaries, from east to west, everyone is, all of them there. That means when you are starting in the early morning, 6 o'clock, it's at 10 o'clock for Japanese concern. Their office would have opened, the laboratories would open. Attend to them, go to ISRO, your own laboratory people are around. And starting from 1 o'clock, again it starts, all the way goes to Europeans, then east coast of US, then west coast of US. So it's a really, really, I used to feel, to me, it's only, I think I used to tell from among the Chandrayaan team, I'm the unique project director wherein my project 24/7 people are working. Because somebody or other working that way. When somebody or other working for me, definitely I also have to work for that. So that's how nearly more than 18 hours, 19 hours we used to put the days together. But it's really a learning experience, a unique opportunity. I think I used that opportunity effectively for my own personal growth, my own learning, and overall the success of Chandrayaan. So that way I feel it's a unique opportunity which came to me, and I made use of that opportunity.
The next opportunity which came to you after Mangalyaan, there have been many other satellites. I am not talking of the remote sensing communication satellite, which you have also worked within the satellite center. Let's talk a little bit about 2 Chandrayaan 2. How has been the journey of Chandrayaan 2?
2. 2 Chandrayaan 2 is a 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 2 Chandrayaan Yeah, basically, with the experience of Chandrayaan 1, we thought we had a good confidence we can make it Chandrayaan 2. To be frank, Chandrayaan 2 project report, we could make it in matter of few weeks and got an approval to be done. And that time, we have taken one of the partner, that is Russia was not part of Chandrayaan 1, though we have the US, we have Europe and JAXA type of thing. And we don't, Russia was not a part of Chandrayaan 1, but whereas part of Chandrayaan 2, he came as a major partner, Russia came a major partner, wherein the mission composition is launch will be done by us, by GSLV, and that will have a component of an orbiter. Afterwards, there is a lander. Orbiter will take all the way to the satellite to the composite to the moon. From there, a Russian lander, soft lander, will depart and land on the moon, and Russian rover will go around the moon, and the combined science we will do. This is the original combinations we have arrived at that. Everything was looking okay, but unfortunately, the similar combination of the mission, Russia and China, they have done for the Mars mission, and that had a failure. So having seen the failure, Russia felt it calls for a correction of the mission. So when the correction of the mission came, we felt that is not conducive for our own way of doing, because it goes beyond the GSL capability. So then it calls for a correction, lander to be corrected in a better way. But what they wanted was different. So at that point of time, I think the somehow partnership didn't go through that. So then mission called for a totally different way. That means end to end everything to be done by India.
So what is the current configuration of Chandrayaan 2?
Current configuration of Chandrayaan 2 is basically GSLV Mark 2. GSLV Mark 2 to launch to an orbiter will take all the way to the lander and rover combination. And from the nearly 100 kilometer going, from 100 kilometer to the lander will depart, separate from the orbiter, and it will go around the moon, and in a good opportunity, it will land on the moon softly land on the moon using retro thrusters. Then a rover will come out, and it will do an in situ analysis there. This is the combination. But of late, as the thrusters, the mass of the overall system, even calling for correction point of view, it calls going beyond the GSLV Mark II capability. Now GSLV Mark III is coming. So it will fly in GSLV Mark III, the combination of lander, rover and an orbiter combination, everything by India. This combination is being worked out, and towards that, orbiter is fully ready, fully tested orbiter, completing of thermovac testing, it's ready. Lander is concerned, it is undergoing a test because it needs 4 + 1 5 thrusters of 800 Newton thrusters will be used to make it gradually come and land on the moon. So this in a simulated environment testing and going on. Then rover in a simulated terrain environment, 6-wheel rover, the testing is going on. So all the things put together, we will able to manage end of this year, rolling the full all the 3 set combination to from ISRO Satellite Center to Sriharikota should be possible.
So are we still looking at October launch of Chandrayaan 2?
October, I think, may have to maybe go slipping into a February type of launch.
Like February 2019?
Yeah.
And also, you said now you'd probably be using the GSLV Mark III instead of Mark II?
Yeah. Instead of GSLV Mark II, GSLV Mark III will go, and February will be landing on the moon. So that means your launch will take place somewhere in January. So the satellite combination has to go from the satellite center in somewhere December. This is the typical timetable towards that we are working today.
And in Chandrayaan 2, will we place the Indian flag soft landed on the rover on the moon surface?
That we have to think about that, because we are slightly thinking a slightly different way. Is it possible to have the rover is there? The rover, whether it's roving on the moon, is it possible to make any way in the regolith our presence felt there? We are thinking about that. Instead of putting a tricolor there, in some other way, whether we can make our presence felt there, like our Armstrong is put on his foot, that is available there. Like that, our Indian rover has rolled on the northern hemisphere of the
Southern Hemisphere.
southern hemisphere of the moon. That we'll able to show in the
So, meaning you'll put a little emblem which will carve on the regolith the Indian Ashoka or the Indian flag and the Indian map, so that you leave a permanent imprint.
Permanent imprint. Yes, we are thinking about that way. We are thinking about that way. Is it possible to make such thing like that when it is rolling around? So you will have the permanent imprint of Indian rover, lander, and the moon present. I think.
But do you think is it a good idea to use GSLV Mark III because it's still only one launch which has been done to put a important mission on Mark III?
Yeah, I think Mark 3 point of view compared to Mark 2, our people are feeling confident. The system is relatively simple integration point of view, number of components being less. And today the confidence level of Mark 3 is much better. And that will give the overall Chandrayaan 2 mission enough room to have a very, very reliable mission point of view. So the putting what is required, mass required for the Chandrayaan 2 components versus what is possible for Mark II. So making this trade-off study led us to go for Mark III. And Mark III also, I think today we have enough confidence available.
In satellites, there is a certain backlog because launches have not taken place in the last few months. What is the kind of backlog, and is it worrying?
Yeah, it is a challenging time for us. Because of GSAT 6A, we have uncertainties, calls for some corrections. Notwithstanding that, you look at last 2 to 3 years, the rate of launches were much higher than what used to be previously. But that itself, to get out of the backlogs, only we have done that. So that means really every month on satellite requirement in terms of remote sensing, in terms of communication, or navigation is really called for. Even to maintain our operational sense of the navigation systems also, we need the satellites to be coming there. So the requirement is really more. So now last few months satellite launch not being on there, definitely we have to make it up in the months to come.
And what about the status of GSAT 11?
Yeah, GSAT 11 satellite, because whatever observations we have seen, GSAT 6A in the orbit, and it calls for some retests, especially in the critical pressure zone. That means when the satellite being launched, it from one atmosphere, it gradually, the atmospheric pressures keep coming down. And before coming to hard vacuum, it goes through a region called the critical pressure zone. This is the zone where the high power system nominally can create some issues. Okay, and one hypothesis was it really the condition what happened GSAT 6A? So that called for a additional test from GSAT 11. So GSAT 11 was brought here, and it underwent the required test, and the test showed a success. The satellite was intact. Satellite surveyed with the test, so indicating the satellite again now we can go back for the launch phase. So now we are waiting for the launch opportunity from Arianespace for GSAT 11.
What about future missions? Where are we headed in terms of planetary travel? Because that is what attracts India very heavily.
Yeah, immediate future is point of view. Look at here, you know that Aditya is originally Aditya was planned a low Earth mission looking for a sun, solar coronavirus point of view. But subsequently, the mission has been after looking at the Chandrayaan 1 and the Mars orbiter mission success. Then why to limit our mission in the low Earth itself? That gives an observation opportunities limited. Instead of that, if you go for Lagrangian point between Earth and Sun, the Lagrangian L1 point, if you go there, so that gives 24/7 observability is possible for the solar Sun is concerned. So accordingly, this mission also now it is planned in a slightly different way, a deep space mission, and that is slated for another 3 years from now. Initial configurations, preliminary design reviews, everything completed, and required instruments are getting ready for that, and the qualifications going on there. So that way.
What about a revisit to Mars?
Yeah, revisit to Mars is concerned, I think discussions among the team. What should be the mission composition? Arbiter we have done there. What is it called for? Is it previously we have highly elliptical orbit we have gone? Is it that, or we have to go for closer to the mission, or is it called for lander is called for? Even if it is there, what is the sort of science? I think it is initial discussions among the team members are going on, and even regarding Venus also. These are all the initial discussions going on to looking for what sort of opportunities, what we will, after going over there, what we will do. For example, we are looking for water in the Chandrayaan. Similarly, Mars, we talked about overall seasons and methane type of presence we are trying to look for there. Similarly, what is called for in these missions also being discussed there. So once things are material, things come to some thing, and by the time if by Chandrayaan 2 could have launched, then Mom also would have completed its life, and then Aditya would have matured there. So that time this can clip in there. So possibly given time, not more than one mission, planetary missions, is maybe we consider. So yes, things progress, things can happen.
So first job at ISRO, last few days left at ISRO, 36 years of contribution to India for a small village boy reaching all the way to Mars. Satisfied with your life?
Oh, what else I can expect? I think it really, I am fully satisfied, and definitely looking back and where I stand now, I am fully satisfied. I don't think so. I can expect, I can ask for anything better than this, and this is really a good thing. And I look for a good another fruitful innings beyond ISRO.
What is that?
That I would search for. As searching for water, I think I have to search for it. And immediately after retirement, I think I have to keep search solely. And I have liking in writings. I think I used to talk with the people also. In Tamil, I think I used to go very places and do. And a good number of youngsters follow me. And I have to look for what I can do, what sort of opportunities, what sort of skill sets I have, and what I can do better.
Some people say you should join politics. You will be a runaway runner anywhere from Tamil Nadu.
No, I am not clear about that. Anyway, I have to think, and I have to think. I'm not
So that was Dr. Annadurai. Like he himself says, life from zero to hero, thanks only to satellites and the Indian Space Research Organization. A true role model for India. If you dream big, you can really achieve big. In Bangalore, Pallav Bagla. Thanks a lot. What a pleasure speaking to you. Wait.